You're Sperp back with another video, and I just got done watching From Season 2, Episode 6. And for those that have been so impatient episode by episode, I hope this episode has done something for you. If it hasn't, I don't know what to tell you. But we got to talk about some things in this because now we get some really interesting revelations. So picking up where the last episode left off with Boyd talking to Kenny's mom, just apologizing and just saying, like, look, I try to just do what's best for this town and I want to bring people home. But before that conversation can go any longer, Kenny pops up and Boyd's like, you know what, I'm gonna just dip out. But he never leaves because now he gets put into this, he goes to the church where it looks like he's going to the church, but then he hears the music box and he sees this ballerina dancer. And that's what the whole title of this episode is translates to, is the dance between two people. And Boyd never leaves the diner, and he just kind of gets knocked on his ass. And Kenny and his mom try to help him up and bring him to Christy. Then with Donna trying to make sure they come up with a new way to ration the food, she goes over to where the Matthews are to kind of just figure things out, and lets Fatima, whatever, and Ellis hold the fort down back at Colony House, and just tells them, like, look, don't tell them nothing about us running out of food. We don't want people to panic. You hear that? Panic. So, like, they show you exactly what ends up happening, but we're going to get into that very shortly. As we see Christy finding a pamphlet for a rehab center, and she confronts Marielle about this, and she's very upset and asks her, have you taken anything from our cabinet? Because, like, you can't be doing that. We are already limited. She starts to kind of put a padlock on that door, and Marielle also fesses up that she took a little bit of morphine. So she is somebody you have to kind of watch out for. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be interesting to see what happens with her character going forward. Then we get Boyd and Kenny kind of walking towards the clinic. And Boyd says something interesting, like the leaves are falling, they're changing, which he's never noticed that. He's never seen that happen. And you can kind of see it's getting foggy. And it's interesting to me that with Victor saying that the trees are changing and kind of moving, does that mean that they are going to kind of be put in like a winter setting? Because with rations being very low, that would be fucking terrible. And, Boyd, his mind is so fractured. He's starting to see this ballerina everywhere in this episode, but Kenny can't see it. Only Boyd, and he tries to kind of explain these words, but it just sounds crazy. That's why I say, like, certain things that, like, this is why Boyd has been acting the way he has, because he doesn't know how people are going to take this information or if they can even handle that information. He also tells Christy about this, and this makes Kenny think that maybe this is something similar to what happened with his father. Now, shifting things over to the Matthews, where, Donna is pretty much, sorting out all the rations and all the food that they have left. And Jim's like, look, we barely have like a month's worth of food. You got to let people know. And no, Donna's like, no, we got to figure this out. We can't let people panic, because if people panic, like, people are going to start to turn on each other. And then Jim says, like, maybe this is all on purpose, you know what I'm saying? And Tabitha kind of gives him this look like, you're sounding crazy. Which Tabitha is the next one that has to start to reveal some things to Jim as far as the little creepy-ass children that we saw in episode 5. And now with Boyd resting, he kind of wakes up and starts to hear the music box again and see the silhouette of the ballerina, and the ballerina gets really aggressive with him, and then he starts to kind of freak out, pulls his gun, and almost pops Marielle. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. He puts his gun down, and good thing, because that would have been a crazy body, you know what I'm saying? That would have definitely pissed off Chrissy. Back over at Colony House, Ellis finally kind of opens up more to Fatima, whatever, and tells her, like, exactly what he knew about Sarah, that he knew this whole time that that's what Boyd was going to do. She's really upset. But there's a reason why Fatima is upset, or why she's super emotional. But before they can kind of go any further with that conversation, there's some commotion going on in the kitchen, and Dale is not trusting none of the new people and pretty much blows up the spot, saying like, look, we're low on food and they're still trying to steal, and things lead to another, and then Dale ends up stabbing Ellis pretty lethally too, and he's just kind of, gasping on for air at this point. Back to Boyd and him starting to talk to Father Crabtree, and Father Crabtree is pretty much like, look, man, I'm proud of you. I know you're going through it. These things are going to happen. Not everybody can have a happy ending and whatnot. And I like that kind of back and forth and stuff. And then Kenny sees Boyd, catches him at least talking to himself. He's like, who are you talking to? And this is where Boyd kind of like raises his voice a little bit to Kenny, like, look, man, there's a lot of shit going on with me. Whatever happened to me in those woods, I cannot explain it. So you're just gonna have to trust me, pretty much. Back to Ellis, and they're trying to figure out, okay, he cannot stay here, because if he stays here, he's just gonna bleed out and die. And this is where Elgin says, you know what, I will help. He beelines to the van, almost slips up, and he's able to kind of get Ellis and Fatima to the clinic. And I like this whole, this whole shot right here where it kind of pans back from Elgin driving to, Fatima and Ellis saying he can't breathe, and they're finally able to make it to the clinic right on time without any issues. But Ellis is running out of time, and thank God for Christy, because she's able to kind of make him calm down, or he's able to breathe now by like kind of getting the blood out of his lungs. And this was a fucking intense moment, as now Boyd is being that leader, saying like, look, it's going to be okay, because this is what people need. They need to just feel comfort. And this is where we get the reveal that now Boyd has the same blood type as Ellis, and they got to do a blood transfer. But he's kind of against this, because whatever's inside him is going to go inside of Ellis, and he doesn't want him to experience the shit that he's experiencing. And Kenny just draws the gun, like, look, you're going to do this or else, one way or another. And just Kenny at this point is just off his rocker. He just doesn't know what to kind of believe. But then the worms start to kind of pop out, but then Marielle is able to see it. And it seems like the worms and whatever these entities are, you'll see them when they want you to see them, kind of scenario. So then Boyd gets the idea, because Kenny was the one that wanted to kind of like be the kind of guinea pig. He's like, if it's whatever your blood, whatever is in your blood, just pass it on to me. But then he gets the idea to go outside and face these monsters, and whatever's in Boyd's blood is able to kill these things or knock them out, at least, knock them out of their human form. And they're just going to wait until sunrise to see what happens to that Mr. Smiley Face, So that's really key. And I'm wondering if they're going to start to just do a bunch of blood transfers so everybody can kind of do this, or be able to combat these monsters now. Now, as we get to the end of the episode, you have Ethan having this conversation with Donna, where Ethan reveals to Donna, like, I lied to my parents. I'm actually pretty terrified. I just want to go home. I don't want to do this quest no more. And what Donna says is the whole theme of this episode, and just everybody here as a whole is saying fear makes people turn people into heroes and stuff like that. And I really like that, and that was like a really dope line to drop. Meanwhile, Ellis is able to kind of wake up. Fatima is just kind of all over the place, but here's where it gets revealed that she's pregnant. Now that is pretty interesting, because we never seen a baby. The only child that's ever been there, besides like Victor, has been Ethan. So I don't know how that's going to play out. And Boyd and Kenny are just looking at the dead monster's body, and they're going to figure out what to do with it next. This episode was really dope. We got a lot of reveals and revelations, and I'm curious to see where it goes, because it's like I said, now that we know that Boyd's blood is able to kind of be used as a weapon against these monsters, I don't know what they're going to do with that information. Ellis might have this same thing going on. I don't know if it's going to be the same effects as what Boyd's going through, but yeah, we're in for a ride for the next couple episodes. Let me know how you guys feel about it in the comments below. Till next time, I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.